Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. UCS is back with its last podcast for this year. Today we have with us Ms. Anupama V, our chief trainer, who is an expert on POSH and is a successful corporate lawyer as well. Hi Anupama, how are you?
Hi Kaveri, I'm fine and it's nice to be back after a very long time on the UCS podcast.
Anupama, today's podcast topic is quite interesting. Can a party to the case be represented by a lawyer or next friend during the course of an inquiry process under the POSH Act? As an external member, did you come across a situation in any case which you handled where one of the parties to the case had a request where they wanted someone to represent them before the IC?
Thanks Kaveri. When you mean represent, if you mean someone who speaks on behalf of either the complainant or the respondent, well, under law, we both know that it is not allowed. Even if the person is a lawyer by profession, that is professionally registered, or is even a person who is qualified or rather educated as a lawyer. In fact, it has been clearly laid down in the case of Johnny Ribeiro versus the Union of India, which was decided by the Delhi High Court and as recently as 14th of October 2022, where the petitioner had actually requested the court that he be allowed to be represented by his advocate or his next friend. In fact, the court was very surprised that the petitioner was making this request because he himself was a qualified lawyer. He himself wanted to be represented by a lawyer or his friend who was educated in law. And the court felt that this would be extremely unfair to the other party because they would not have anyone representing them with that background. Therefore, representing either the complainant or the respondent before the internal committee is a clear no.
Thank you, Anupama. Yes, Rule 7, Subclause 6 of the Sexual Harassment of Workplace Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Rules 2013 does clearly state that as well. But however, what if there is a situation where one of the parties requests for moral support? What if they want a person who does not have any legal background or who is not a law graduate to come with them before the IC? Is that allowed?
Kaveri, again, this is a very situational circumstance. So, if we have a situation where, just say there's a person, the victim or the complainant has undergone a very traumatic experience of sexual harassment and she needs a colleague or a friend to be there as a support. Under circumstances, the internal committee can consider allowing that person to be a part of the inquiry, provided the person who accompanies them is just an observer, does not give any suggestions, and does not participate in the inquiry. Secondly, this also results in a very big responsibility on the internal committee because then they need to ensure that the person doesn't have legal background, is not a social worker who's been engaged in sexual harassment related issues, or is not a woman activist. So this is a big responsibility on the internal committee. So what can the internal committee do? Maybe in circumstances where um, you have both of them being a part of a conciliation process and they want to get someone else along with them during that process, you can allow it. But by and large, it's better that the inquiry committee does not allow anyone to accompany either the complainant or the respondent. However, in exceptional circumstances, and if there is a valid reason for doing it, then yes, the complainant or the respondent or both of them can have someone come along with them but not represent them. I hope I've clarified.
Thank you, Anupama, for sharing your knowledge on POSH with me and our listeners. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you found this episode very informative and interesting. Do get in touch with us with your queries, suggestions, and feedback by emailing us at admin@upseedconsulting.com or writing to us on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. We will be back soon with another interesting topic in the new year. Wishing you all a great day ahead.